Well, hello there and welcome back to a brand new video where today's video is very exciting because once again the guys over at Rugby 22 have released another patch update. However, this patch update is a little bit special. It's a little bit spicy. The reason is it's the biggest patch, yes. Biggest patch? Yes. The biggest patch yet. That's what I meant to say. We got a huge amount of information regarding licensing. They've made some improvements there. They've also made improvements to the gameplay and how it plays. So I'm very excited. They're giving us basically like free screenshots for March 1st. So I'm very excited. I'm hoping they may have fixed the offside because I don't think offside works, but we'll find out and stay tuned and all that stuff. I'm basically going through every single detail about the brand new patch update for Rugby 22. So if you do enjoy today's video, then be sure to massive thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, comment what's regarding this. Your support is always helpful and I appreciate you guys because we're nearly at 9.5 thousand subscribers. We're getting close to the big goal of 10,000, which I'm very excited for. But anyway, got the patch here. Got the patches here. Got the patch here on the right-hand side, and we'll basically just kind of go through it. So to begin with, we're talking about licensing. So it says some rosters have been updated. So to begin with, top 14, Montpellier. We now have Gareth Paulo. I guess he's been added. Toulon. We've got Elizabeth, is it? Or Etzebeth, Eben, Matt, speak. Olivian Charles, Colby Chesin, or Chesin, is now being added for Toulon. Racing, we've got, oh my goodness, how do you pronounce his name? It's like Gotcha Chavi Gurum, I think, maybe. Probably pronounced that wrong. Then we've got Nakene Trevor. And then Thomas Teddy. So Thomas Teddy was quite easy to pronounce. But those are the updates for the top 14. Now moving on to URC, right? So this is obviously like the top 14. No, not top, the Pro 14 before it got renamed, right? So Vodacom Bulls, we've got Stein Monet. Cardiff Rugby, we've got Navdia Josh, William Thomas. Edinburgh, we've got Watson Hamish, Haining Nick, and Hoyan Damien. Glasgow, we've got Fagerson Xander, Fagerson Matt, right? Leinster, come on Leinster. We got Connell Jack, Larman Jordan, and Breen Harry. And then we've got the Emirate Lions, and we've got Jantes Elton. Is that how you pronounce his name? Munster, we've got, oh God, Munster, we've got Burney Tug. Is that it? Burney Tug, I think. Scarlets, we've got Williams Liam. Oh, do you know what I've just realised? They've told that I'm reading it as it's their first name then last name. It's actually their surname then last name. Because like there's two of them, which like basically like Xander Fagerson and Matt Fagerson have the same surname. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I've never really heard of that as a first name. And then when they say Williams Liam, I'm like, well, that's Liam Williams. So my apologies, guys. I've been butchering their names, saying surname, first name. Anyway, Lee and Halfpenny. Cool, it's not Halfpenny Leah. Like, what a name. If that was your first name. Hello, Mr. Well, hello, Halfpenny. But yeah, completely got that wrong. So Chelsea Sharks. We've got, who have we got? Ox Niche. We got Bongi Menabe. We got Sia Cozy. We got Lucano Am. We've got Macazole Mampipe. Is that how you pronounce it? DHL Stormers. We've got Stephen Kitsoff. We've got Herschel Janchis. And then we got Damian Willamese, I think. Moving on to Ennet Rugby. We've got Abraham Stein. We've got Ianacho Yuan Brax. We've got, oh goodness, Ipauhame Favor, maybe? And then we got Luca Maurici. And then for Ulster, we've got Duane? Yeah? Duane Vermaelen. Yeah, I think so. And then some players have also been updated. So nationality, we've got Gertz and Marcel, the Vodacom Bulls. Harris Brook, the DHL Stormers. Prieston Reese for Cardiff Rugby. We've got Bevakuja, Is that it? Bevacuja Theo for Cardiff Rugby. We've got Andrew Scott, Cardiff Rugby. And then positions. So apparently Lurie Michael. Or is it Michael Lurie? It can't be. His first name can't be Lurie Michael, can it? Maybe. I don't know. What are they doing with the patch updates? They're like, it's a first name, then last. I mean, Theo sounds like a first name, right? But Bevacuve or Kucha, that sounds like a surname. They're messing with my head here, aren't they? And yeah, so about the position. So I think it's Michael Lurie. Apparently he's now a fullback, his primary position, and his fly half is his secondary. So apologies for you guys having to deal with that and me butchering through that. But moving on to kind of what they've done in terms of like updates to the consoles. Apparently some of these updates have already been made to the PC version. So they've reduced the duration of Scrum. They've reduced team booster prices. That's good to know. They fixed the following missions which were not progressing as they should. So 1 by 1, last one standing, disloyal. And they fixed an issue. So in Stadium 3 in the Ripple Stadium, when playing with Top 14 or Pro D2 ADS, white lines are now correctly displayed on the real touch lines instead of being shorter than expected. Okay. With fusion cards, which were still sorted using their previous score instead of the new ones, apparently that's been fixed. The text of 2 events, which were displaying their related name instead of the description text. Okay. And then PS5, they fixed some rare occurring crashes. Now, I've been playing on the PS5 and touch wood, no crashes at all. And I think the last bit, I've just realised, I just gave you the image 1 and image 3. And I was like, hang on a second, I'm sure there's 3 images. And there were. And the last image, which for some reason we're talking about being image 2, is kind of the big boy. This is the one about gameplay, graphics, and some bugs, right? So regarding gameplay, so goal kick has been added to the tutorials of the kickoff match. Improvements on all game plans, such as trajectories after a ruck, first pass, and anticipation issue of the defensive team. Specific corrections on the 2 game plans related to extraction by the number 8. These are now not displayed anymore if they cannot be used. Improvement on players' trajectory when receiving the ball after a ruck, maul, or scrum. They've improved what? The improvements of the attacking team during a kickoff. Their positions, so that they will be positioned better. Improvements of the bomb kick strength during kickoff. Improvements on jackling during a ruck, slightly larger time frame, vibration feedback when used. AI can now occasionally use it and commit a foul. Improvements on the grubber kick. So the ball should be more often playable on the ground. A gauge has been added. They've added a gauge to the grubber kick. Nice. Online, minor corrections and improvements. Also added the triangle-shaped feedback, showing the ball carrier. Interesting. Graphics and UI and the HUD. So they related to the addition of the grubber kick gauge. HU related to all types of open kicks have been updated to be more cohesive. Okay. Fix an issue with the kick input display when playing with the TV/side camera. They fixed an issue preventing from restarting the match when doing it in the Scrum cinematic. Slight improvements on grass. Okay, interesting. Fixed bugs. So, you know what we spoke about, I think in yesterday's video? They have fixed some offsides. So they fixed some offside not whistled by the referee. Interesting. We didn't really see many offsides at all. So hopefully this fixes it. They fixed an issue with some failed tackle attempts where the player falls down and takes too much time to stand up. Yes, in career mode, we have those lazy people who do not want to get up, but hopefully they will now because they're programmed to, rather than, me telling them that they're programmed to now. So that's pretty cool. They fixed an issue related to players' positions in pods, which were going too much forward. They fixed a bug about defensive players moving backwards when going after the ball carrier. They fixed some issues with the bounce of the ball after a kick. Fixed an issue with some commentaries played at the wrong time. And they've also fixed an issue occurring during trainings in career mode, which was resetting the user's option to default, difficulty, match length, etc. I think we had that. When we were doing training, right? And the pre-season or the training matches, and it would say amateur, semi-pro, pro, and you get more money, right, to higher the difficulty. I think that happened to us sometimes because we would play a game and I'm like, this is amazing. And I think it's sometimes, oh, this was extremely hard. And I think just, I think it was resetting or changing our difficulty based on what we played previously. But that's essentially the patch, guys. So it's all live now. And I'm curious. I'm curious to know what you guys are most excited for. Like, for me, roster changes, I like them, but I wouldn't say they're a priority for me. Like, I'm not, like, super excited for them, but I appreciate them in a way. I wish, things I would like to see, which I guess isn't a patch, is more of an update in a way, is, like, stuff, for example, on, like, my career. I wouldn't mind being able to actually name the team rather than just having a selective team. I wouldn't mind having maybe some sponsorships, even if it's just like, Ripple Stadium or some fake sponsorships or some of the sponsors within the game. It'd be pretty cool to kind of have on the shirts. But I'm very happy that they are improving, obviously, the gameplay, obviously, how the game looks. It's going to be interesting with the grubber kicks as well. Because typically what happens, right, is when a game goes live, they have a list of things where, like, will this get done and tested and QA'd before release date, right? And if it doesn't, then normally what happens is they release the game and then they know. Like, I imagine some of this stuff here, right, for example, goal kick wasn't a tutorial. I bet you it was on their agenda. It was on their board to do. But maybe they ran out of time or there was other priorities, right? And now they're like, well, we've now added it in. It's typically like me. Like, I'm a technical lead, right? So in my day-to-day, we do sprints and, we work on a 2-week schedule. And sometimes we say, actually, we're not going to be able to push this in, but we'll push the majority of it in now, and then we'll release some updates. And as long as the stakeholders know, so in our case, the customers kind of know, then we're pretty good. But no, I mean, it's the third patch update. I would say it's probably the biggest patch update, and it's pretty exciting. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys are kind of, I guess, excited for in this patch update. What else would you like to see changed in Rugby 22? For me, I think the career, I'm happy with booster packs have gone down. It'd be interesting to see how much they've gone down by. The career mode, I really like. I still wish there was a Be a Pro mode where you play as yourself, like you create your own player, and then you essentially, go through the ranks of playing for teams, get set of international duty and all that stuff. And I guess that's like maybe not for this game, maybe a future game. I mean, they could add it in, would be sensational, but I can't really see that happening. But if we're getting a new rugby game every 2 years, maybe. I don't know. It depends how big of a task, big of a challenge it is, right? Because obviously, let's say for example, the new rugby game comes out every 2 years, right? So Rugby 24, from Rugby 20 to Rugby 22, it has the same features, right? There's not really, I mean, there's some new things with the challenges and stuff, which is great, but there isn't like a new game mode, right? Where like Be a Pro or playing as yourself would be. So I don't know, that's kind of what I'm after next, but I'm very happy that they are making updates, improvements and all that stuff. So shout out to the guys over at Rugby 22. But if you have enjoyed today's video, then be sure to massive thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, comment what's regarding this. But anyway, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Adios, chaps, boom. She's a